Yeah, we can. Nice
Okay,
graphic. All right.
fantastic. Well, my project's a little different, it's a little bit more fun in my opinion. My name is Fausto Torres, and I run Trippy Trunkz. I am the CEO and originator. Think Mario Kart meets Web3, right? But with elephants who actually pay you dividends. We are raising $500,000 today for a 20% equity stake to scale a live game on the Ton network. So let's talk about the mobile gaming industry because it is gigantic. Blockchain gaming is surging, and players want ownership that isn't a meme. We sit at the overlap, mobile fun plus real asset utility. That's where outsized wins really happen. Most Web3, most Web3 games promise value, then they trap the holders with high fees, no exit. It's like buying a theme park ticket and finding the rights close. So our solution is we route a slice of the game profits to sweep the NFT floor every month. This then distribute via staking on Rareboard. This provides real utility from an in-game purchase and assets built on the Ton network. So our transactions feel instant and cheap. Translation: basically, players get more fun and holders get liquidity. So, building a model for high revenue potential. Now, the game is built and live currently. Community is growing organically across Telegram and X with zero ad spend. People didn't follow us for promises. They stayed for gameplay and for rewards. So our revenue model is pretty simple. We have 4 pipelines, which is our in-app purchases, ads and affiliates, which we're working with right now pretty closely with some companies, esport fees and sponsors, NFT staking economics. Our conservative first-year model shows 8 figures if we execute. The levers are users, conversions to spend, and LTV via staking. Now, our differentiating factors are pretty straightforward. We have 3 modes. 1, we're on the Ton network, which is integration with low friction to play. 2, a profit sharing loop that actually returns value. 3, multiplier depth with tournaments and skill trees. So we're not a 1-week wonder. We've been around for a long time, and our players seem to be addicted to our game. Now, our team is pretty experienced. As you can see here, I've led communities for over 20 years. Guntis is our blockchain and infrastructure guru. He's a lead developer. He's led teams for Saudi Aramco and DWA in Dubai. Tom drives our growth with enterprise-grade marketing. Leandro designs fair tokenomics, and Abdul leads our game design. Kyle is our community engine. So our no Torres here. We've been here for a long time, and we truly are passionate about the business. Now, our ask is straightforward. We're asking for $500,000, which will be proportionate between product development, marketing growth, community initiatives, and events, as well as developing the team and infrastructure. You get 20% equity in a live product with clear expansion paths. So players get a great game, holders get liquidity, investors get a scalable system designed for either sustained profitability, or a strategic exit. So join us in building a category leader. So while competitors focus either on gameplay or Web3 integration, Trippy Trunkz blends both, delivering a true gaming experience with real digital ownership while avoiding the economic pitfalls of early play to earn games. This positions us for a long-term success in an evolving Web3 gaming space. I'm Fausto Torres with Trippy Trunkz. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Fausto. That was a great presentation. Let's open it up for the judges.
Yes.
Well, if Watchman were on this call, which he's normally on these calls, the first thing he would say is what I am going to suggest, Fausto. Whenever you're pitching, especially virtually, you want to be looking straight into the camera at the judges, at the investors, and you don't want to read your pitch. You're a founder. You
Gotcha.
should know this like your hand. You need to speak from the heart and with passion. Here's what we're doing. You shouldn't need to read. You should know this inherently. To get one of your slides said, I think your first year, 10 to 12 million conservative revenue. Where are you at currently with revenue and revenue growth at this point in time?
Revenue growth right now, we are over $18,000 for the year in revenue. And that's because of one particular sponsorship, which we have with a souvenir company that provides a very, very unique product. So it's kind of like an NFT where each one is unique. They're actually providing us with revenue to generate some type of a game similar to ours, so they can actually provide that to their customers. So the revenue is coming right now from actually one partnership, and we're over $18,000 for the year.
Okay, so I'm going to, if the others will allow me to
Sure.
As the other guys on this call knows, that my fund partner is actually, well, he's a pioneer in blockchain, and he's also a professional gamer and developed over 100 games for Fox Interactive and Saban. So this is a space I'm somewhat familiar with. But here's one of the challenges. Arabian is
Sure.
is a firm believer. We've had this conversation that blockchain is going to be a thing of the past soon because there's too many challenges with it. It's getting hacked. There are security issues with blockchain when it's been touted as the secure, transparent way to manage supply chain and that. But the main challenge is anytime, and I will tell you this from the traditional investor standpoint and from current investors, NFTs is a red flag. Anytime we see NFT, it is a red flag because it's done. That's a dead horse. And so I'm going to warn you about approaching it from an NFT standpoint within your presentation. I really need to see how you plan on getting 10 to 12 million revenue when you've only made 18,000 right now. So when do you plan, when does your year start? That first year, 10 million revenue, when does that start? Is that next year? Is that the following year?
Right. Right. We have a pending agreement with an industry leader out of India, and obviously their player pool is massive. So we have an agreement with them for these funds to basically generate about 1 million downloads. Obviously, as you know, in gaming, the retention rate is not as high as most other businesses. So we're factoring basically what our churn rate will be. So we're looking at these numbers after the investment is made and we've acquired all these players. So that number makes a lot more sense after the fact, not currently.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry to take so much time, Shankar and Scott.
No worries. Thank you.
Yeah, no, to support Jerry, yeah, I have only one investment in gaming, and that's doing very well versus, but I'm not a big gaming guy. And for me, NFT is a red flag. I don't have a single NFT investment of my 180 companies. I don't believe in NFT. Blockchain, I invested in 2 companies which went belly up. No blockchain, no NFT for me. But I was surprised because you kept saying a couple of times, we've been there a long time, we've been there a long time. And so I was wondering, where is the revenue? How many gamers you have? But then I'm surprised you probably have a lot of experience, but you've not been there a long time as a company because you repeated it 2-3 times. You've been there a long time.
Right.
The revenue is very low, 18,000 number of games is very, very fickle market. So I think you need a lot more traction from my perspective before I even look at it. But interesting. And again, as he said, there's too many colors, too many text, and I was trying to follow you and read the screen. But again, since gaming is not my forte, so maybe I was distracted. Sorry for it. Thank you.
All right.
Also,
Scott, any last words?
Yeah, I do. Hopefully to be helpful, because I agree with my colleagues. I think what you need to do is simplify. What you're presenting is a very complex opportunity, especially for, I mean, if you're talking to other gamers who understand everything you're talking about, that's one thing, right? It's the same with Michael a few minutes ago, right? If you're talking to project management people and climate mitigation, it's a different conversation. But when you're talking to people like us who are not necessarily experts in your field, you're presenting a very complex opportunity with layered risks and lots of assumptions. And that just scares us, right? You're compounding, Web3 and all your execution risk, the TON network, which I've never heard of. Of course, there's the content itself, which has got to be dynamic and changing and, very compelling. Then the NFT thing as well. There's all these different pieces that all have to go well. And so far you have not that much traction to show for it. And then on top of that, you have what looks to an entrepreneur, and I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I'm guilty of this too. You have 4 different revenue lines. That sounds like a good thing from a founder's point of view, but from an investor's point of view, it's 4 different revenue lines that you have to staff, right, and grow, because none of those are going to just magically create money. So you've got it ends up being a matrix of all these different market risks and deployment risks that are very complicated, which means even if I liked pieces of it, and I do the Web3 thing and commentating gamers, I think that is the future. Like, I think your vision makes a lot of sense. But the from here to there is our job, because you're asking us for money to get from here to there. And it's so complex that you're asking us to take on a lot more risk than I think anybody would probably be comfortable with, at least this crowd. My point is, I would look at your deck and figure out what is the one thing you can do to make the most money as quickly as possible to prove to us that you're onto something, and then layer in those other things as subsequent phases. If you try to build the whole Taj Mahal at the same time, like you're trying to build from the roof down, you got to build from the foundation up, right? In terms of explaining it to guys like us anyway. So other than that, it sounds fascinating. So good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Fausto, for the presentation. I hope you made some notes. We'll have the recording, as I said.